What's going on, guys? Messi here and welcome to a brand new video, and welcome to your daily dose of transfer gossip. And today is the Wednesday the 7th of August, got confirmed news to go through as well as the rumours. So just before we get started, if you could do that good stuff by leaving a like rating, press the subscribe button if you're new, and press the bell notification next to it so you never miss an upload. Yes, this episode will be down below in the description box, and current schedule every day at 8 AM UK time is a new transfer episode. And finally, in the comment section below, I asked this question a couple weeks ago, but now the transfer window for Premier League sides is pretty much done. What is your Premier League top 4 prediction for next season? Right then, let's get started, and the very first player today is going to be Badel. He joined Fiorentina from Lazio on loan. It's a €700,000 fee, as also an option to buy included. Gary Cahill has joined Crystal Palace from Chelsea on a free transfer after his contract expired, and he signed a 2-year contract. Something I forgot to mention is that Friday's episode, it'll be a bit different to normal because obviously, as I've mentioned before, the Premier League window does shut on Thursday. So I'm going to try and cover every single transfer that went through in the Prem throughout the whole of the summer. Right, carrying on then, we move on to Quebec. He joined FC Augsburg in the Bundesliga from Stade Rennes as for €7.5 million. Edgar EA has joined Trabzonspor from Lille on a free deal, but it's also part of this next transfer. So the midfielder Yazigi, sorry I said his name wrong by the way, he has joined Lille from Trabzonspor this time, and they've paid an initial €16.5 million. He signed a 5-year contract, and I believe there's also bonuses to be added on. Benedetto has joined Marseille from Boca Juniors for €14 million, and he signed a 4-year deal. Till has joined Spartak Moscow from AZ Alkmaar in the Eredivisie. It's €18 million for him, and he signed a 4-year deal. Mopé has joined Brighton from Brentford for £20 million finally. This transfer rumour has been going on for a while, and he signed a contract until 2023. Then we move on to a few transfers that for me right now at 1 PM on Tuesday, they haven't been announced just yet, but they should be announced by Tuesday morning, or Wednesday morning should I say. So first up, every single outlet is saying that Wayne Rooney has arrived in the UK. That's ahead of talks with Derby County. He's set to become a player coach, joining from DC United, and also following the likes of Ashley Cole and Frank Lampard. But the deal itself apparently won't start until January. That's when the MLS season has ended. Maximilian Philipp will join Dinamo Moscow from Borussia Dortmund for €20 million. That's according to Bild. But apparently that transfer should be announced very soon. Again, it could well be a done deal already. And next up, various sources are saying that Arsenal have inquired about the availability of Benfica left-back Grimaldo. He has a €60 million release clause in his contract, but his agent has suggested to Edu that he'd be allowed to leave the club for closer to €40 million or £36.5 million. Arsenal are keen due to Tierney's injury worries, but the BBC Sport do say that their interest is still there in the Scottish left-back. Laurent Koscielny is in France to undergo a medical at Bordeaux. It's expected to be a €5 million deal, which is very close to completion, and Arsenal reluctantly agreed to the sale. He was refusing to train and refused to go on the pre-season tour, and he was willing to let his contract run out, but apparently he also paid a lot of money himself to get the transfer done, and again, he will probably be a Bordeaux player by now. Arsenal have had a £55.2 million bid for Leipzig defender Upamecano rejected. That's according to German outlet Bild. The Gunners are keen to add another central defender with Laurent Koscielny and Mustafi expected to leave the club, and they're also interested in Juventus' Rugani. But the Daily Mail are saying the loan bid for the Juve defender is now under threat because of a £30 million bid from Wolves. And as I have mentioned for a couple of weeks now, Juventus' situation with centre-backs, they've probably got one too many, and apparently the likes of Demiral or Rugani, one of the two would be sold or loaned out. Gianluca Di Marzio is saying Italian striker Mario Balotelli is nearing an agreement to join Brazilian club Flamengo. Flamengo are ready to offer Balotelli a 2.5-year contract, and is also interested in playing outside of Europe, and Flamengo's club president has confirmed the interest. So quite possibly going into FIFA 20, Balotelli might not be in the game, and it would also be a free transfer for the Brazilian side. And next up, RTL are saying Monaco right-back Djibril Sidibe is set to join Everton. He's poised to join them on loan initially with a €14 million option to buy. And there was Premier League interest there alongside Everton, because West Ham showed a lot of interest at the very start of the window, and even as recent a couple of weeks ago, as well as Newcastle United. And next up, La Voice de New York are saying New York City FC are looking to bring Dries Mertens to the MLS. The Belgian's contract is set to expire in June 2020, and NYCFC are looking to sign the Napoli star to a pre-contract agreement in January. He can start talking to clubs in the winter about a potential free transfer, and maybe a move to the MLS might interest him. Bournemouth are in talks with Liverpool over a loan move for winger Harry Wilson. The Cherries are keen to bring the Welsh international to the Vitality Stadium and have made an official approach to sign the 22-year-old before Thursday's deadline. And Melissa Reddy is saying that Wilson's loan move to Bournemouth looks very likely, and at Liverpool now are just seeking assurances he'll get guaranteed first-team football. Galatasaray are in discussions with Chelsea over the potential signing of Bakayoko on loan. That's according to the Standard. They are, however, relying on the Blues to agree to pay a significant proportion of his wages, which are reported £120,000 a week. The Turkish Giants are unable to pay the €35 million price tag Chelsea want to make it a permanent deal, so potentially a loan deal could happen because Frank Lampard does not see him as part of their plans this season. David Beckham wants to bring in former teammate and former Milan coach Gattuso as Inter Miami's first head coach. That's according to Gazzetta dello Sport. Nantes had also targeted Gattuso, but the Italian turned them down. And as I just said, they are former teammates, and if a deal does happen, he'll be their first coach ahead of the 2020 campaign. Bayern Munich are interested in Ajax winger Hakim Ziyech, according to Algemeen Dagblad. Sorry I said that wrong, by the way. But they're saying Bayern are looking to sign 2 wingers and a defensive midfielder before the transfer window closes. Leroy Sané should be one of the 3, and Ziyech could be the second. But according to AS, the other winger could well be Gareth Bale, because Bayern could make a late push to sign the Welshman on loan, but for Madrid and Bale, they aren't really looking for a temporary stay. But Bayern do feel that if no suitable offer does come in or materialise for Bale and Real Madrid, they might try and test their resolve late on. And a source has told AS that Bayern's kit supplier Adidas, who also sponsors Gareth Bale, they could help facilitate a move which sees the Bundesliga champions pay Bale's entire salary. And that seems to be the stumbling block for Gareth Bale's transfer in general, because a lot of teams are pretty interested, but they aren't really willing to pay a crazy high transfer fee alongside a crazy high wage. And when he nearly made the move to the Chinese Super League, it pretty much backed it up, because I think it was Janssen Suning, they're willing to pay like £1 million a week for him, like as his salary, but they wanted to get a free transfer. France Football are saying Leroy Sané is set to depart Manchester City for Bayern in a record-breaking €110 million deal. Sané would join Bayern on a 5-year deal worth €18 million a season, which tops teammate Robert Lewandowski's €16 million. Both the transfer fee and Sané's wages would be the highest ever for a player in Bundesliga history. And it might have just been really bad timing, but during Sunday's Community Shield game against Liverpool when Sané went off injured, he gave a really bad look towards Pep Guardiola. And now a very interesting one from various different sources, and the very first one is ESPN. They're saying Manchester United are pursuing a deal for Christian Eriksen in the final 48 hours of the transfer window. So by the time this video goes live, there's probably just over 30 hours maybe, and if they pull it off, I think it'd be a great bit of business. And a couple more stories. The next one is from Miguel Delaney. He's saying Pochettino is ready to sell Christian Eriksen, with United at the front of the queue. And the Daily Mail are saying that Spurs could sell him for just £50 million because of the whole contract situation. But bear in mind, Spurs could also elect to sell him abroad, because after Thursday, they can still sell him to likes of Juventus, Atletico or Real Madrid. Infosport Plus are saying Paris Saint-Germain have made a €60 million offer for Paulo Dybala. The Argentine has been linked to Manchester United as part of a swap deal for Lukaku, but a move to Old Trafford has seemingly fallen apart. Dybala's representatives wanted €16 million in agent fees, so United pulled out of the deal. That second part is from The Athletic. And a final part from Alfredo Padula, he seems very adamant that Dybala to United, it's not a deal that's off just yet, because apparently he's accepted United's offer of €11 million a year, but image rights are holding up a potential deal. And next up, L'Equipe saying that Felipe Coutinho will join Arsenal on loan from Barcelona. And the man reporting this is Bilal Ghazi, and he is one of L'Equipe's lead transfer reporters. And he was also one of the first people to report of Neymar's desire to leave Paris Saint-Germain, and also PSG's willingness to sell him to Barca. But then about 20 minutes after this L'Equipe article came out, a journalist called Julien Laurent, who works for likes of BT Sport and whatnot, he said Arsenal are not signing Coutinho. But let's face it, it's not a transfer window if there aren't conflicting reports about players, and we'll have to wait and see basically by tomorrow whether Coutinho will end up at Arsenal or not. And next up, according to El Colombiano, and in particular a journalist called Jose Luis Viguera, he is saying Fabinho will join Real Madrid. It's before the transfer market will close for Liverpool and will sign a contract until 2024. The transfer will be made official when Liverpool choose a replacement, and the Spanish side will pay €65 million plus 10 million bonuses. Now, do I believe this rumour? Personally, I don't really. I can't see us selling one of our key players with 1 day left of the window. So we just covered Coutinho potentially going to Arsenal, but now the most recent rumours are suggesting he's going to their rivals instead. It looks like he's joining Tottenham. So there are a fair few stories to cover, and the very first one is from the Times. They're saying Tottenham have bid to sign Coutinho on loan from Barca, and Pochettino is keen to reunite with the Brazilian. The Catalan club are asking for around €25 million or just over £21 million for a loan, and there may even be an option to buy if it goes through. Sky is saying if they want to make it a permanent basis, it's an £80 million fee. And it does make sense, because if Spurs do sell Eriksen to United, Coutinho isn't a bad replacement. And finally, Le 10 Sport are saying that Barca and Tottenham have reached the final stages of agreeing a deal for Coutinho. The midfielder should join the London club and return to the Premier League imminently. But that, guys, is going to be it for this video. So if you could do that good stuff by leaving a like rating, press the subscribe button if you're new, and press the bell notification next to it so you never miss an upload. Yesterday's episode will be down below in the description box, and current schedule every day at 8 AM UK time is a new transfer upload. So thank you for watching this video, I'll see you next time.